So it's exactly 10:10 a.m. on Tuesday, October 17th. I'm having my second breakfast. It always takes me a while to wake up and get going, especially if I don't immediately have to be anywhere in the morning. I like to have a coffee first thing as soon as I open my eyeballs and reach for it while I'm still lying in bed. I have a hard time just waking up. Anybody who is in their 40s and 50s knows what I'm talking about. You just get really exhausted in the morning and it's hard to wake up without coffee, at least for me. So I reach for a coffee and I sit there and enjoy coffee for about 30 minutes if I don't have to be anywhere immediately. Then, after that has woken me up, I go and I actually have my actual breakfast, which usually isn't very big. Most people can't eat a lot in the morning. So I usually have like fruit or yogurt and then some beverage like high C or Gatorade or fruit juice. But that's not why I'm making this video right now. I'm making this video because I actually woke up without an alarm at around 7:30 this morning. And I started sort of moving around and sitting up in bed. And as soon as I did that, the psychotic registered sex offender, psychopath, malignant stalker, and cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry, who likes to sit in the bathroom behind this wall and engage in frequent, if not constant, disruption and desperate attention-seeking behavior, started getting disruptive from somewhere around the area behind this wall. What she likes to do and what she has the ability to do is deliberately create and generate. So, she's making something and then she propagates it. So over the last 10 years, 9 of which she spent legitimately living in the unit behind this wall, and the last year of which she has spent illegally accessing the vacant premises of the unit behind this wall for the sole purposes of stalking and harassment. What she does is she smokes and burns sickening, nauseating, overpowering substances that smell so gross that as soon as they start filling your living space, you either have to get out or you have to open the window, open the doors, just ventilate the space. She's been doing this for 10 years. She continues to do this from behind this wall, and she likes to do it to let me know that she's right there. And she usually does it in response to something that I'm doing. She also uses some type of remote capacity stun gun device, which exist. This isn't science fiction. Just look it up on the internet, you effing morons, if you don't believe that this kind of device exists. If we have the technology for stun guns, we have the technology for remote controlled stun guns. Most things can be remote controlled, you idiots. So just look it up. She's using something like that, and it tases people at a distance, but presumably at close range, right? So you probably have to be in the same area as the person that you're trying to use the remote controlled stun gun device on. And she likes to tase me while I'm lying on my bed, doing certain things, but not others. So let's say I'm lying on my bed and I'm picking my nose. She'll start tasering me. If I'm just lying on my bed doing nothing, then she doesn't tase me. It's like a harassment thing. It's a stalking and harassment thing. I'm assuming that a remote controlled stun gun is probably the stalker's favorite tool because they can literally harass you at a distance to let you know that they can see what you're doing, and they don't have to physically go up to you and start, smacking you or shouting at you or whatever. They can do it from a safe distance, but still harassing you and harming you. I mean, I don't think that a remote stun gun is a healthy thing to have repeatedly used on you. So that's what she's been doing throughout the morning. And at the same time, the violent thug directly below in 76, who seems to have been absent for about 5 or 6 days. It was very, very quiet from below last week, but now they're back. And as soon as I sat up in bed at around 7:30, I wasn't even awake yet. I was just sort of moving around. He started violently pounding the walls and the floor directly beneath my bed. And he does this when he wants me to know that he has knowledge of what I'm doing. It usually happens when I wake up. It also happens when I try to use my toilet. So he likes to pound the area directly below my toilet with some kind of a broomstick or a rod whenever I try to use the toilet. And he becomes really aggressive and violent. He seems to have been released from prison over the last few days. Now he's back and he's getting really disruptive. The point that I'm trying to make here is that these people are parasites. They obviously can see what I do in this unit. I'm assuming that the Greenville group, as they have told me they do, have placed surveillance devices in here. They're not shy about talking about this. They seem to think it's perfectly legal. And maybe in the third world country that they come from, which is apparently Russia or maybe the Ukraine, these things are legal. There's a lot of corruption in Russia. There's also a lot of corruption in Ukraine. I mean, they're just sort of at each other's throats, but they have similar economic systems and political systems. It's a little bit like the US and Canada. So, Russia being at war with Ukraine is like the United States and Canada being at war with each other. They're very similar, just to have a border between the two. And corruption is very rampant in Russia. It's also rampant in the Ukraine, unfortunately. So they come here, they run their businesses here the way they do over there, and they think it's legal. So what the Greenville group is doing is providing the sex offenders, thugs, and psychopaths that they've chosen to place in the adjacent units to mine with video footage of my personal and private activities in this unit. And then the psychotic and malignant sex offenders and thugs get all jiggy and worked up whenever they can see me doing anything that they think is personal or private. But this cuts both ways. These people are too stupid to realize that actually they are being hurt a lot worse in this situation than I am. And I'll tell you why. Because the damage is psychological. Physical damage, your body heals itself. Your body is an amazing healing machine. And most people eventually recover from injuries and illnesses and things like that, if it doesn't kill you, obviously. Psychological damage is often a lot harder to deal with. And these people are psychologically damaging themselves by spending their entire sad, wasted, useless existences perving and creeping all over what they can see me doing or have knowledge of what I do in this unit. And the difference between myself and them is that I have a life. My focus is outward, meaning I focus my entire existence on my life, on my goals, my friends, my family, my finances, my career, my achievements, traveling, achieving new goals. And these sad, wasted, low-life scumbags simply obsess over what other people do in their bathrooms. That is just sad. That is so sad. And they are too stupid to realize how pathetically sad their wasted lives are. So when they're sitting there, sickly grunting and smacking the walls because they can see what I do in my bathroom, they're the ones who are hurt, not me. I'm simply going about my own business and living my life. I'm in my bathroom doing what I need to do to live a normal life, to live a healthy life, to keep myself physically healthy. I'm in my bed also doing what I need to do, sleeping, resting, relaxing, picking my nose, to do what I need to do to just live my life. And these psychotic perverts who are in and out of prison and who have some very evident mental health issues are literally banging their heads against the wall over what they can see me doing in here. And they will never have anything to do with anyone like me. They try so hard, and never in their sad, wasted lives will they ever have a chance of having anything to do with anyone who isn't as wasted and psychotic and dysfunctional as they are. So they're just desperately, desperately, desperately trying and trying and trying, and they will never have anything to do with me. They're too stupid to realize that. They think that because they have knowledge of what I do in the privacy of this unit, which has nothing to do with them, that they are in some kind of relationship with me. They've even said this. I mean, the psychotic thug directly below 76 has intercepted me on a few occasions in the store across the street and tried to say things to me to the effect that, there's some kind of a relationship there. There isn't. This piece of shit has nothing to do with my life, and my life will never have anything to do with that piece of shit. They're just too stupid and desperate to realize that. And never in a million years will they have anything to do with me or anyone like me who is functional, who focuses their life on their goals, on what they want, on what they have to achieve, on what they've already achieved, on their friends and their family, their careers, their travel. I love to travel. I've traveled all over the world, and I will continue to do that. It will never have anything to do with these pieces of low-life trash. So it's just sad. And they're too stupid to realize that they're the ones getting hurt by this. And the Greenville group, who seems to be doing this as some sort of a favor to the sex offenders who they cater to and focus on and aim their business practices at, they are hurting these people by providing them with footage of what I do in my bathroom and in the privacy of my unit. They are hurting these people psychologically and mentally, as well as emotionally, because they are dangling something in front of them that they have absolutely no chance of ever having anything to do with. And that's just sad. That's sad for them. It's not sad for me. My life will always be high caliber as I can possibly make it. It has been high caliber. it will continue to be high caliber, and high caliber as compared to these lowlifes. I'm not talking about high caliber as compared to Tom Brady or, Senator, Mitch McConnell or whoever. No, I'm not going to be a senator. I'm not going to be a star athlete. I'm not a celebrity. But I mean high caliber in comparison to the psychotic, low-life scum in this building that the Greenville group continues to cater to and discriminate for at the expense of other tenants. So the fact that Greenville has actually admitted to me that they have surveillance devices in here, thinking it's perfectly okay, they're not hurting me. They're hurting the psychotic, mentally disturbed sex offenders who they are dangling footage of me in front of and who never will have anything to do with me. It's sad. And it doesn't hurt me. I just live my life. I focus on what I need to do, and I just keep going. And I have always been exactly who I am. I've always done exactly what my goals tell me to do, and I will continue to do that. And these low-life creeps have absolutely no effect on that. But apparently, everything that I do has an effect on them, and that's just sad. That means that they're parasites. That's how you know you're dealing with a parasite. Your parasite cannot exist without you, but you can certainly exist much better without them, and that is the difference. They are parasites, and I am not, and I am better off without parasites like them. They are not better off without me. They're desperate to have something to do with me, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't get violent, aggressive, and intrusive, smacking the walls, screaming and shouting, blowing all kinds of smoke and fumes, remote tasering whenever I do anything that has any effect on them. It has nothing to do with them. And they're just too pathetically desperate and stupid to realize that. So, life goes on for me, and it doesn't for them. And that's the huge difference.